Yo. Alright. So we're just grabbing some music from me. That was it. We're gonna head back over to the tutorials now. So what is it that I'm doing right now? I think when I was doing these videos there originally, let's go over to my YouTube real quick and see what I got going on. So I've got all of these. Where I don't have any music anymore. What am I doing here? I don't want that. I'm gonna bring that over here. I'm gonna turn this up. Oh, we do have music. It's just quiet. All right. So I've got these videos, and I don't know that I'm gonna get a whole lot of views on this stuff. So what I was thinking about doing was kind of like a larger tutorial thing. I know what a lot of people don't like is this kind of like meta shit where I'm talking to you right now. I'm wondering if I even care, you know, because I kind of like it. I like talking to you guys. So first things first, some of the stuff that's been the most helpful is having like GitHub and stuff like that. And it's neither of those. Oh, it's this one. GitHub, if you don't know, is going to allow you to put code up here. And I know it kind of looks confusing at first or whatever. And there's a lot here. It's kind of weird, but I think this is like I have a repository. So I got Rogue Shooter. I can create a new repository and I can put code in it. So in the Rogue Shooter repository, I have all of these files, and you can put some information and you can put stuff in here. So I have, you know, the C# file for the what is this? The UI controller. And if I go to search and I'm looking for a particular piece of code, let's say like the character controller, I can search in this repository, I can search in the user, or I can search all at GitHub, or I can find some things that I've searched before. So let's say I search in this repository. It's going to give me all the places where I've got the word controller, because that's what I'd searched for. So the player health controller, the enemy controller, the damage player script, you know, has that word in it. All of these files do. And so let me give you like a real example. Okay, well, so like I want the player control. So player health controller, enemy controllers, player controller. So I can take this and hit raw, and then, sorry, that's bright, but I can cut all of this and paste it into Visual Studio, and then have the script that I need in order to do what I want to do. If you are coding and you get stuck at a spot, especially if you're putting notes, you know, like change the direction of the sprite when moving. If I was to search that, which I don't have that obviously in here, let's just go back for a second. But let's say a note that I do have, like there is only one player. So let's say that was like a piece of instruction. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like I remember, you know, writing about that at one point in time, and so I want to search that. Let's go like this. There's only one player. I can see that that's in here. I can see the note. So then when I go to it, and I don't think it's going to highlight it right away, no. But then I can find it in here and be like, oh yeah, this is the piece of code that I wanted. That's why I put that note there, and then and I grab what I want. So having GitHub has been super kind of useful. Still getting used to Stack Overflow because I haven't really done anything with it. To be honest, GitHub I've been using a little bit more. Now I've found things on here which I don't know if I'd be able to see it, like see the stuff that I'm watching. Sorry, my bag is killing me. Here we go. 2D dungeon with isometric tiles, Sunny Valley tutorial. So these are all the files for the Sunny Valley tutorial that you like may have seen on YouTube, for example. And so all the information was provided here. And if I go to YouTube, Sunny Dungeon Gen tutorial. So this, so this is his tutorial, the first part, and he's got the resources. So I think that's really cool. When people add assets that they're using and things like this and so on and so forth, and the more that you code, I guess you're going to find the places that you enjoy to use and go get things. So let's close some windows. The GitHub thing, that's cool. Then we've got itch.io and how do they do it again? Oh yeah. So okay. Oh, that's right. I only have the one on here. So, itch.io, place where you can put exported like games, right? So I've got Windows versions of this game, and I've got two versions. I have the light alpha, which was like I had done a portion of the tutorial, and I was like, hey, cool. You know, like I kind of have something, you know. So I exported it, and boom, there's a game. And then the Venture Out Rogue was the more completed version, which is what you're seeing here. You know, and so you've got enemies, you can attack them, break boxes, and doors that only open when you finish the rooms, and, you know, spikes to screw with you and stuff. And you can dodge and shoot and, you know, start new games and when you die and stuff or whatever. And so that's there as well. And then I just put a link over to the GitHub for it so that people can go see the code, right? So itch.io was a big one. So between YouTube and itch and GitHub, that's all kind of like looking good. Those are the things that I'm using. And then Unity comes with Visual Studio, or I installed it separately or whatever. I don't remember. What else? Discord, because I've got a couple communities that I joined, and I started one myself, which I haven't really done anything with. I opened it up like yesterday or whatever, and I think that's pretty much it that I use for programming so far, and the Udemy courses. So let's just go to Udemy for a second. No, I'll bring this over, don't worry. Dun, 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 dun. So these are the courses that I've been working with. The roguelite is the one that built what you saw on Itch. This random dungeon generator is the basis for understanding how to do dungeon generation. It's not as complicated as you think, but it's super complicated in a weird way. But then I guess like once you start to kind of understand it, it's not so bad, to be honest. I think that's like that for a lot of programming. It takes you time to get there. It's just taken me 2.5 months to get here, you know, to this point. This one, I didn't really like it so much. It wasn't really about making a juicy shooter. You know, there were some issues with it. At the end of the day, it's not going to be a bad thing, but it's certainly not what I was expecting. Multiplayer, and it uses Pun. Excuse me, I'm so sick. Photon engine for Unity. So Pun allows you to get some multiplayer stuff going. And from what I understand, the free edition, why does this look so ugly? The free edition, you can have up to 20 people. Same as the free 100 users for Photon, just $95. Yeah, anyways, so for this, so it allows you to have the whole like networking features. You can put a game up, and I think it's basically like free ultimately at the end of the day when you put Photon together with Unity, and you can get your game up and running. People can download your game, run it, and then connect, and you can have up to 20 people with the free version. It's kind of like for testing, not so much for playing. And it's on the asset store like this. I haven't done any of this yet, so that's why I've got to go through this tutorial here. And then I've got the Metrovania Toolkit, 2D action platform. What a terrible, terrible course. God, I don't even know. The C# ones, good, but for total beginners, and doesn't really provide you with much, like other than like what you would get from reading a book kind of thing, you know, or like, I don't know. This one seems massively crazy, kind of like what this roguelike one originally was, but for farming and by somebody else. But it's nuts. It's got, you know, the time and weather and all that stuff, like for the seasons and all the stages of the crops and all of the, you know, pause menus and all the different scene management things and AI movement, like for pathfinding. What else did it have? Basically anything that you would expect to have in a farming game, ultimately. But only like a little bit of all of it, right? Just so that they can teach you how to do it. I really love this one here, and I think I'm really gonna like this one, simply because they give you a game at the end, and they give you all the files at the beginning that, you know, so you can go play the game kind of deal. But it's the fact that it finishes something, you know. And same thing with this one, the dungeon generation. If you care about that, like the files are there, it's complete, it's done. You just go through the tutorial, and at the end you have a dungeon generator, you know. And he puts a character in it, and he puts items in it, so it is a dungeon. If you want to make a dungeon game, and you just want to like pop open a dungeon when you walk into a door, you know, then do the farming course and make a door that leads to dungeon generation, and then boom, you've got, you know, and then take the roguelike to you know, get all the gunning and shooting and all that stuff. So I put the three of these together, and then I could have, you know, like, hey, go around and farm and stuff, and then go in the randomly generated dungeon and go shoot the shit out of bad guys and jump over spikes and stuff. So it's cool. What else do I... So that's all that I use. DB software for the recording, and that's it. Yeah. All right. Adios, amigo.